live justly because it is our response as worship. God says, this is what I want from you. It's not just our clanging cymbals or our instruments or our big gatherings per se, or our conferences, or even the nice work that we do, but it's also our deep personal convictions of living justly. I think if we have eyes to see, ears to hear, if we're resonating with the heart of God, there's probably a lot of things all around us that aren't as God intended. But I think sometimes we train our eyes to look for dramatic stuff, which is the reason why we can easily look in the mirror and say, well, I'm not unjust, I'm not complicit in this. But if we look at injustice or justice really as what God intended, maybe it's the small and subtle ways that we treat or untreat our neighbors, the way that we sometimes dehumanize the homeless around us, the way that we just drive right past them without any sort of acknowledgement or a simple expression of human dignity. In some ways, I am sickened by how we've hijacked Christian spirituality, where everything has to be happy, everything has to be perfect in some ways. When we see brokenness, man, we need to lament, we need to grieve, we need to be angry, we need to flip tables, we need to really examine ourselves. I love how Nehemiah, when he hears the stories of the conditions of the walls in Jerusalem and the people, he prays, he grieves, he fasts, he laments, he confesses, and he does this not one time, not before a meal, not just for a conference. He actually does this for about 4 to 6 months. It really changes him in some way. That justice is not some mere elective, it's not some side peripheral issue. It's not like a piece of wardrobe that we wear on and off. Justice reflects the character of God. God loves justice. And so we live justly, because that in itself is beautiful worship, pleasing to God. Worship is a response to the revelation of God. For me, that is what inspires me of wanting to live more justly. Not because it's the trendy thing or the hip thing, not because there are books written about it or there are conferences about it, but when you really take it to the bare essence, justice reflects the character of God, and living justly is what it means to worship God.